Hey guys, Nick back with another one of these driving podcast things. Today, I'm actually going to talk about relationship advice slash my experiences, mainly directed towards like guys, but I mean, I guess this could apply for some girls. So let's start with like my very first relationship ever, how that ended, and we'll go from there. So in my first relationship, we ended up together because we worked together, and she was freaking out because I was actually talking to her and whatnot, and she just wasn't used to it. And and then her friend, which was also like kind of my friend, I guess, was like texting me about her, and I'm like, like maybe. And then I went to an Imagine Dragons concert in June, I think it was. And then I ended up going to work the next morning, and she messaged me, or she started talking to me because we ended up working the same shift. And so she ended up talking to me about the concert because she noticed I had a bracelet on, one of like those rubber bracelet things, and she was talking to me about it. And that's how we kind of started talking. She pretty much just found something that we had in common and started talking about it. And then her friend finally convinced me to start talking to her and text her. So I took her number, I started texting her, we started talking, and we went on a date. I asked her out. Officially, we were then a couple, and then that was the start of a nice 2-year relationship. Fast forward to a year later, about a year later, to when I actually graduated, and then we went to my graduation, and it was fun, I guess. But I mean, it definitely isn't the best part of the whole relationship was my grad. We've been dating for a year now. I guess I lost my virginity to her 6 months after we started dating, so it was January of 2016. And we can talk about that story another time, but back to my grad, we eventually went back home, whatever. Then I invited her out to my grad fire party that like my friends were holding, and she came. I didn't drink because I knew she had to be home. Her dad wouldn't like her to stay out all night, so I didn't drink. I drove her home. I went home, or I went back to the party. Then I drank, and then I stayed the night at my friend's house with everybody else. Fast forward another year, closer to the end of our relationship, she graduated, and her graduation was actually one of the best nights like ever, like a night I won't forget, just because like her friends were just so great, just like the way she looked in her dress and just like every little thing. So Then eventually, fast forward 2 months later, we end up I ended up talking to another girl at work, and I didn't mean it in like a flirty way or anything like that. Then we started hanging out and stuff, and my girlfriend at the time, she started getting kind of nervous about it. She's never really worried about it before. Like, nothing really worried her about me talking to other girls or anything like that. She just knew my personality. She knew who I was. And she really knew I wouldn't do anything. Whether she knows that still or thinks that still is a completely different story. But, I mean, eventually she said, you know what, I've had enough of worrying about this. It seems like you really don't have an interest in me like you do with her. We're done. So then we broke up, and I continued talking to this girl, and we ended up hanging out more, and about 2 weeks later, I ended up at this girl's house because she was moved out at the time, and I asked her out, and then we pretty much had sex, and I pretty much lived with her for a good 5 months or so. And then around month 2 of that relationship, I started grieving a little bit. I was like, man, I really fucked up. I started texting my ex. I was like, man, what the hell do we, what can I do? Like, I feel like an asshole. I feel like I was kind of unloyal. There were a million things going through my head. I just felt terrible about it. And this is what I'm trying to give advice about, is don't just hop into the next relationship. Most guys like to get revenge from their breakups, like, oh, you broke up with me, I'm gonna go fuck this bitch. Don't do any of that. I also kind of feel like it was revenge. The only reason I feel like I asked her out was to have sex, and I know that sounds like the classic guy for you girls watching, but I think deep down that was honestly why I asked her out at first. And then I started actually getting more and more feelings for this girl, and I kept going, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, with my ex as well. And then it got to the point where everything just started going downhill. My luck started changing. I don't know whether it was because I abandoned a perfectly good 2-year relationship, but around the 3rd month, I guess I was starting to realize what I just lost. Fully, I started realizing, like, what kind of person she was and all that. And, like, we always talked about being friends after a breakup. And, like, I've seen people do it. I've heard of people do it. But, like, I tried really hard to be friends, but I couldn't just let the thought of us being friends go through my head. So I was starting to get kind of flirty, I guess, and protective again, and she was like, you need to stop. And I tried stopping so hard. Around month 4, we started arguing about how I was acting with her, and my girlfriend at the time was actually getting kind of mad because she's like, okay, you're making me feel like shit, you need to stop. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So then we ended up fighting to the point where we stopped talking completely. She didn't want anything to do with me. She's pretty much blocked me out of her life. And we tried talking. We tried talking again not too long after that. My dad ended up going to the urgent care in an ambulance because he fell down the stairs and couldn't walk. And her friend just so happened to get shot the same day, same/night, I guess. And so she texted me that when she sees my dad come into the hospital in an ambulance on like the stretchers or whatever they're called, and she's freaking out. She's like, hey, if you need anything, like, let me know. I'm like, so suddenly we're allowed to talk, and I guess that kind of made her more mad. And it kind of sucks because I really wanted to still have some connection with her. Like, we were still hanging out for a while, we were still talking and all this stuff, but now that I look back at it, I would probably do a lot of it differently. So then I haven't talked to her since, like, I broke up with my second girlfriend, who ended up breaking up with me after she got what she wanted, but realized I'm not gonna just give it to her. She was pretty much a gold digger. I've paid for a lot of her stuff. I've spent a lot of money on her, and it wasn't my first relationship, and she ended up taking advantage of that and then breaking up with me because I just wasn't having none of her shit. So then she broke up with me. I was paying for her phone bill where she was supposed to be paying me, and so she lost her phone. I paid the $200 to get her a new one shipped to us. I got her phone. She picked it up, or her parents picked it up while I was working through the drive-thru, and then I thought nothing else of it, really. Then she messages me. She's like, can you please set up my SIM card? Like, they're not activating my SIM card. You need to do it. I'm like, do you have my money that you're supposed to have paid me? Like, you said your dad's gonna replace your phone. He hasn't sent me money or anything. Like, I'm not helping you until you help me. Like, I need the $200. You know I need it. Because I was struggling with my own bills. Like, I'm paying for a car, I'm paying for gas, I like my spending money, I'm paying my phone bill, I'm paying her phone bill, and so we went back and forth. Her dad finally sent me the money. I was like, okay, I will hook up your phone. And so she comes back about 5 to 10 minutes after I hook up her phone. I'm like, there you go, whatever, it's done. She comes back 5 to 10 minutes later. I want to break up. I'm like, you better be paying me for your phone. That's the only thing I was worried about, is you better be paying me for your phone. A month goes by. I'm like, you owe me for last month still. Where's my money? We fight about this. She finally pays me. Whatever. Now I'm currently paying off her phone because she refused to pay me when I wanted to pay my phone bill. She wanted to pay me whenever she wanted, as long as it was before the due date. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. I pay my phone bill early almost every fucking month. You're gonna suck it up and pay me when I tell you to pay me, otherwise you're not gonna have a phone. So anyways, I bought out her contract. I wasn't able to disable the phone from being used anymore or anything like that, unfortunately, because they just didn't have the phone on their records. So then I message my first ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, like, I'm really sorry, maybe we can try being friends. Like, I realize I messed up, we've taken the wrong route, the wrong approach on all this. can we figure something out? She goes, no, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm like, fine. I haven't messaged her since. A month later, after I hear stories about my second ex going, oh yeah, I met this guy at a bar, because granted, I was trying to just get laid by other girls, and I was talking to another girl, and people would tell her I was talking to another girl. She texted me from her new number, which she told people not to just give to me. I'm like, I don't want it anyways. So she texted me from the new number. I'm like, I thought you didn't want me to have this number. She's like, I never said that. I'm like, you did. I have 100% proof. I'm literally working with the girl who told me you didn't want my number given out, or your number given out to me. And so she's talking, and she's like, I just miss you. Can we like get back together, or like work something out? My life's just so terrible. I'm like, you're not guilt tripping me. Like, you're a fucking gold digger. Fuck off. She's like, I'm not a gold digger. I wasn't using you. I'm like, yes, you fucking were. Don't play these games with me. You were so using me. And so anyways, that's my only 2 relationships that I've ever had. That's kind of the main story of it. Obviously in the 2-year relationship, I left out a lot of details and stuff, but yeah, so on to the advice portion. Now that you guys have some context of what I've been through for relationships, I've had one completely normal, really good relationship, and then I've had one shitty fucking ex-girlfriend who just decided to ruin my life, and just rack up my credit because I thought I actually saw something with this girl, and now I'm like, fuck off. But so on to the advice portion that I'm going to give all you dudes. Yes, it's okay to have revenge sex with someone, but here's my advice. Guys handle breakups much differently than girls. Girls grieve almost instantly. It's almost like instantaneously. Like, they will feel it the second, like literally a day or 2 after you break up with them. They will feel the heartbreak immediately. They will grieve, they will cry, they will be like, I need a break from you. They will try everything to get over you. They will eat their ice cream or whatever the hell girls do when they break up with guys, or vice versa. Whereas the guy will think he's fine for a good little while, like a good week or 2. And you don't realize it at first how much you actually miss them. But just don't go into a relationship right away. Like, if a girl's into you, the instant you come out of a relationship, I say hold off. Obviously, all guys, all they want is just sex, whatever. That's what every girl thinks. I try proving that it's not the only thing I want. But, I mean, it is what it is. Girls will think what they want. You just have to prove them differently if you're not like that. And so, if that is all you are looking for, don't jump into a relationship right away. Try actually getting the girl. I know this is terrible for me to say, especially if I'm going to have female viewers, but try getting the girl in bed without having a relationship. If you can't, sorry about that. So I've tried moving my camera, so hopefully it doesn't overheat in the sun. But I changed the angle. Hopefully it doesn't bother too many people. But yeah, so don't jump right into a relationship right away, because you're gonna fucking feel the side effects of a breakup much later, much after the girl's over you, and it's gonna suck a lot when you're stuck in a relationship and you're grieving. Trust me, I know from experience, you do not want to be grieving in a relationship. She's gonna think you're unloyal. if you're the most loyal guy and you're going through, and it was like a great fucking relationship, and you had a great fucking, and like the breakup wasn't terrible, trust me, you're gonna regret it. 100% regret it. Jumping right into a relationship right before you start grieving. Obviously, if it's like my second relationship where she was just using you and you're like, fuck, she was just using me, like what a piece of fucking shit. Pardon my language, but that's kind of what went through my head. You're not going to grieve as much. So I totally understand the whole not grieving aspect of things. That is when you are able to jump into another relationship. Like, if you think she's a complete piece of shit, go right ahead. But you need to be sure that, like, either she cheated on you or she used you the same way she used me, or, something like that. But if she just broke up with you and you're like, what a beep, chances are you're just angry that she broke up with you. And you'll still need time to grieve over the next couple weeks. You might not think it at first, but trust me, I didn't think I'd grieve the way I did either, and I actually ended up fucking grieving hard as fuck a month later. So you want to wait for the next relationship until you're done grieving, because then you'll be able to text them, you'll be able to talk to them without someone else worrying that you're going to be cheating on them, or there's a million fucking things that girls can make as a thing that will go through their head. Cheating, I don't know. Cheating's probably the main one. It was the main one with me. But, yeah. Just try real hard to not get into another relationship until you know for a fact you're not gonna care, you give zero fucks, and you're over her. My second piece of advice actually goes to don't be so naive. I learned this big time, and I knew it was stupid when I went to go do it too, but when I put her on my phone plan, I knew it was the dumbest thing in the world. Don't worry. Don't have to fucking tell me how stupid I am. I already know I'm the biggest idiot you know. But don't just buy her everything. Like, if a girl gets used to that, she's just gonna expect it. And then if you're also buying her everything and she's not buying you anything back, don't be naive like I was and think that she's just letting you be a good guy, because in all honesty, she's not. Like, I never got any gifts back. The only time she ever spent money on me, quote unquote, is when she was buying dinner or buying groceries for us to like eat during the week, or I never got like an actual gift. I paid for her tattoo. I paid for a vape. I paid for so much shit for her, and it's kind of stupid actually. And then when she moved out of her old place, she ended up taking some of the stuff that I actually spent my money on that were actually for me. Like, I know it's stupid, but essential oils. She has one of my flannels, I guess, that I ended up buying while I was with her. Just a bunch of like stupid shit. But like, obviously I kind of care because I still spent the money on it. Especially the essential oils, because I actually do have a humidifier and I actually wanted to use some the other day, and I was like, fuck, like, I'm pretty sure she has them, and I don't give a fuck enough to talk to her to bring them back to me, because I honestly just don't want her to bring them back to me. Like, it just doesn't matter to me. But my first ex had my favorite hoodie that I got from California. I actually got it from Disney World, and she loved it. I was like, okay, fine, you can have it, whatever. While we were in the relationship, of course, it was such a struggle when she was grieving to get it back that I had to wait like 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to get her to bring it back, and we didn't even see each other. She left it on my front porch, and then my mom grabbed it when she got home and brought it in, and then I just picked it up, brought it downstairs, whatever. She washed it and everything, and I'm not saying I still feel like I have a thing for her. I just regret everything that I did. If you are trying to be a friend with a girl that you just broke up with, do not get involved with her personal life. Like, I swear to God, that is my biggest mistake, is I was still trying to kind of be really close to her when I really shouldn't have been, and it was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever had. So I guess my next piece of advice is don't get involved. Just, you know what, I was always talking to her, or when I was talking to her, I was always going, oh yeah, I'm having like all this sex, you know, it's fucking great, why couldn't our relationship be like this, yada yada yada. And then she would go and be like, oh yeah, there's a guy in this class at university, because we were both in university by this time. She's like, oh yeah, there's a guy in my class that lives on res, and I went over to his dorm and we fucked. And as soon as she said that, I was so sick to my stomach, and I'm like, fuck, I really do miss her. And that was the first sign that I actually missed her, and that was like the first sign that I was like, fuck, I'm gonna regret getting in this relationship. But I tried pushing it off. I'm like, that made me sick to my stomach. Like, okay, so I understand what she's going through. I tried toning it down. I still tried talking to her about like, oh, guys, ooh, like relationships, like any plans. By the end of my second relationship, which only lasted 7 months compared to the 2 years, so I wish I could go back and not lose that 2-year relationship, because it'd be almost 3 years now, and that's way better than, it was probably a really good relationship. But anyways, I wish I could go back and undo everything, but I can't, so whatever, it is what it is. But the fact that I can't even like talk to her or hang out with her or be her friend or anything really fucking sucks, and I recommend you guys just back off, give the girl time. Obviously, if you need to delete her number or whatever, you can delete her number, but like, do not push yourself onto her. Do not make her feel like you still want her or anything like that. And I mean, honestly, I can't give you guys any more advice than that. Like, it's hard to go through a breakup, especially for guys. Guys will never admit this to you, ladies, but it gets fucking hard on the guy when they break up. Unless you really fucked up and made them not care about the breakup, like my second girlfriend did, it's going to be fucking insane for you to... It will surprise you how much a guy actually cares about you. I didn't think I actually cared about my first girlfriend for the last little bit, so I thought, oh, I'm not gonna miss her at all. And then I started realizing, like, after my second girlfriend wasn't doing some of the things my first girlfriend was doing, I was like, holy fuck, like, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. Mind you, there were some things that were like, please leave me alone, but my second relationship, I can 100% confidently say this, I was not as happy in my second relationship as I was in my first relationship. And I can 100% be confident in saying that because she just, I think I kind of low-key realized that she just wasn't a nice person and she was using me on all this. But yet I still tried to convince myself that she was the one. And now I realize my first girlfriend might have actually been the one, and I really fucking burned that bridge. And if she is watching this, for whatever reason, I don't know why she'd even watch this far into the video. But if she is watching this right now, I am truly sorry. I regret all of my decisions I've made in the past year. And I would really like to be friends again. I know it won't happen, so I don't care if anything does happen again. I know she's having a great fucking time just dating around, dating several guys. You know, she might even have a boyfriend now. I don't know. It's been like a month and a half since we talked. But I hope she's doing well. I hope her family's doing well. And I wish them all the best, honestly, and I wish her the best. As for my second girlfriend, if she's, for whatever reason, watching this, she probably is, because she ends up being really creepy after we break up and, like, kind of stalkery. I'll get to that later. She just ends up getting really fucking weird. But anyways, I don't miss you. Do not contact me. Please do not talk to my friends. That is the message to my second ex. Okay? I am not looking for a relationship right now because I have learned my lesson. You need to know who you're going into a relationship with, and it's going to take a lot for me to trust someone again, let alone find someone who I actually feel like I could have a life with. So I'm currently not looking for a relationship, but I am just looking around, you know. I'm keeping my eyes out, you know. Anyways, going to the creepy ass story about my second ex. I've been looking for, I've been applying all over the place, and I ended up getting a job interview. And the job interview was for some sales associate, internet marketing company. It had a lot of bad reviews. I didn't know this when I told my mom. My mom was the only person I've told, mind you. And as soon as I got the interview, I told my mom, I'm like, hey mom, I got an interview. Like, she's like, oh, where? She's like, there's a lot of bad reviews. Your dad says, like, you can still go, but I think you should reconsider maybe accepting the job. I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. And then it ended up being 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes later, one of my friends that I used to work with, she transferred because she was moving to Calgary. She ended up texting me 5 to 10 minutes later. She's like, hey, I heard you got an interview. Like, where is it? Somewhere in Calgary? And I'm like, yeah. How do you know, though? Because I've only told my mom. She's like, oh, Taylor told me. Like, my second ex-girlfriend, I guess. And she's like, I'm like, what? How does she know? She's like, she applied for the same place as you, and I guess she heard your name or something come up. And so I'm like, okay, first off, this is fucking weird. Second of all, what does it matter if I applied for a job? Don't tell people. Like, especially people I'm working with. If that gets out, like, I could get majorly fucked. And it was just so dumb. I was so livid. I was like, hey, she needs to not. Like, she needs to get over me. And so I ended up, because there were so many bad reviews, I ended up not going to the job interview. They tried contacting me a second time to get me in for an interview. I just didn't respond. just because there were so many bad reviews, and the chances of her getting a job with me were really freaking high because they were desperate for employees, and I was just like, no thank you, like I'm okay. I do not need to work with her. Like, she is irrelevant in my life and it shouldn't affect me, but I do not want to end up working with her. So I ended up focus. So she ended up not, I ended up not going because she was kind of the reason I ended up not going, but not the full reason. Most of the reason was because of the bad reviews. Like, I don't want to work somewhere where I'm not going to be happy. So I just decided not to go. But yeah, like, girls have a hard time getting over breakups. Girls know this about every girl. Guys know this about every girl. It's impossible, it seems, for a girl to get over a breakup. She feels like the world stops moving for her pretty much, and for a guy it just keeps moving for a little bit. But most girls don't realize, because most guys hide it, or most guys just, don't show emotion. We actually end up grieving probably a lot harder than you girls do. Like, don't get me wrong, girls grieve hard, and I get it, but I'm not lying when I say this. All guys will grieve incredibly hard, and every guy I talk to, they're like, yeah, I've been there before. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've grieved the same way. We all fucking get obsessive about an ex because of how much we actually miss them, and because we realize how much we actually lost. Like, if you were honestly that great of a girlfriend and our relationship lasted longer than a year, we're gonna grieve, and we're gonna grieve hard. And I think girls need to realize that it happens to us guys too. That's kind of why I'm making this video, just to kind of show a guy's perspective on a breakup. I feel like this doesn't happen too much, especially on YouTube. You don't see many videos of a guy talking about relationship stuff or giving relationship advice. It's mainly just old girl channels, makeup channels, that kind of thing. But when it comes down to it, I feel like a guy needs to give his perspective too. He needs to pass on advice to guys who might be going through breakups or might be going through like other things. So honestly, if you guys are going through a breakup and it lasted longer than a year, and you are like, man, I don't feel anything, I may as well hop in another relationship right now, don't. Please don't. Promise me in the comment section that you will not get into another relationship, because if you do, mark my words, you will regret every single minute of it. And I'm not even lying when I say this. I've been there, I've done it, I know people who have been there, I know people who have done it, and it's literally the worst thing you can do. Like, the worst feeling ever. If it's anything like my second relationship that you're going through, don't worry. Not all girls are like that. Most girls will be broken and you'll need to work on fixing them, but if they're cheating on you, they're a thought. I've had a friend get cheated on. I know it's a fucking terrible thing. You end up just hating the fuck out of a person for it. If they use you for money, like, at least be good at it. Like, if you're using me for money, at least give me what I want. Like, there were times where I was like, yo, let's have sex, and she would never have sex with me. Like, she just literally took my money and didn't do anything. She wouldn't let me cuddle her. She wouldn't let me have sex with her. She, like, literally nothing. We stopped going out on dates, and she just fucking used me for money. And we had the same job. Like, how do you use someone who makes the same amount of money as you for money? Like, it blows my mind, and it bothers me so much too. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm so stupid and I'm so naive, and I'm trying to make sure you guys notice the signs too. Obviously, the first sign for me was like, damn, you're not really doing anything for me either. The second sign was, you're not even like letting me touch you. The third sign was, I was spending way too much money on her. I was paying her phone bill. She was starting to expect things from me, and so you guys just need to read the signs. Don't be naive, don't be stupid, don't make dumb choices, and you should all be fine. I'm just trying to make sure the same doesn't happen to other guys. This world has honestly just gone completely fucked up, and I do really feel bad for the guys who get cheated on, and the guys who get used, and the guys who get abused, the guys who get raped. You know, it's all real stuff for guys too, but since we're guys, it doesn't seem to matter as much, whereas for girls, it's a big deal. Like, girls get all the sympathy in the world, and like, yeah, I feel bad for the girls who get raped, I feel bad for the girls who get abused, the girls who get used, the girls who get cheated on. I really do. Like, I think it's the shittiest thing a person can do to someone, and I just feel like there's so much more potential to the world than what there is, and I feel like no one's willing to show the potential because everybody else is not showing the potential as well. So that's what I try to do in a relationship, is I try showing that potential, but it doesn't always happen, obviously. Sometimes it's not even worth trying to show the potential because the person you're with is such a shitty person. But yeah, I think that's it for today's driving podcast, you guys. I'm still trying to keep this driving podcasting posted once a week. I was going to film 2 videos today, but I ended up forgetting to press record. And by the time I remembered, I was on the highway. I was talking to someone. She needed a ride home, and I was like, I can take you to my doctor's appointment, and we can hang out at the mall, and then we can go to my appointment, and I'll drive you home. She's like, no, it's fine. You've been driving me around a lot. My car's broken. I'll get it fixed soon. I said, fine, whatever. By the time I was done that conversation, I started driving. I was on the highway, and I just didn't have what it took to press record. So I don't have next week's video recorded yet. This will go up this week before Canada Day and July 4th. I guess my next video can kind of be like how I spent my Canada Day, I guess. I don't really have a topic for it either. Like, I was just laying in bed last night. I'm like, fuck, what kind of topic do I talk about tomorrow? Like, I need to make a video tomorrow. And today would be the perfect day. It would have obviously been better had I recorded this on the way to my doctor's appointment. It would have been a little shorter. But I don't know. For some reason, relationship advice and my relationships kind of just popped into my head. I guess I was just on YouTube in a recommended video about relationships and like rumors, and all this just popped up in my YouTube feed, and I was like, that's a great topic. Kind of because I don't see videos about guys doing it. I see videos about girls doing it, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna. I want to stand out, you know? So, yeah, that's today's video, you guys. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever gone through anything like this yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe if you liked the driving podcast. I don't have a set day yet, mainly because my work schedule is all over the place, and I could have recorded like 4 videos over the past week and a half. I just didn't. But like, it's hard for me to come up with topics. Like, I need to actually sit down and write down topics to talk about so that I have a list, and then I can bang them all out when I have time. but I don't have a set day of the week for my driving podcast to be released. So I'm hoping maybe this should be out Thursday for sure. I should definitely have it posted Thursday. And then next week I should have it posted sometime. I'm hoping to have it posted by July 4th. No guarantees though. I want to have it out for you Americans on your American Day. But the conversation topic is going to kind of be me on Canada Day and how I spent my Canada Day, which is kind of like the 4th of July for us Canadians. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video podcast driving thing. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of these driving podcasts, click the subscribe button. I post once a week. I've been actually doing really good at posting once a week. I think this is my third video, so for the past 3 weeks, as of today, which I'm assuming is Thursday, if you're watching this video when it comes out, obviously, I'll be on a 3-week streak, and I'm hoping to keep it going for at least every week until I have a more stable schedule. Talking for this long hurts your voice. I didn't realize it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down topics for me in the description. I'm going to try having a passenger in the passenger seat with me soon. Just like a friend or something. And then we'll just kind of drive around, talk about stuff. But yeah, there's also like I still have to release a video every week. That's my goal. And I want to stay consistent. I want to actually grow a channel. I want to, not just a channel, I want to grow a family. I want to grow a community. And I want us to be able to communicate. I don't know if I've posted my Twitter in the description for both of my videos. But go follow me on Twitter too. And I will, you can always reach me over there. I've been trying to hit up kind of bigger people to get them out here to drive around with me and talk. No luck yet. I'm still looking for people. I'm still looking for friends. I'm obviously not just trying bigger people. But, yeah. So, subscribe, like, comment a topic you would like me to talk about. Obviously, today was a relationship. If there was anything in this video I didn't cover, let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely talk about it in part 2 of this type of relationship video. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.